Umi. Saya. Leah. Debbie. Leonie. And Kieran. And Jess. Okay, now I would like to introduce you to Abigail. Abigail's a little party who always comes prepared. She has a party playlist on her phone, just in case. Saya. Saya is always on her phone at a party. She usually sends 7 Facebook messages, 20 to 30 Snapchats, and 15 to 20 text messages. I'd like to introduce you, Debbie. If Debbie's favourite track is on, she will be the first one to the dance floor. I'd like to introduce to you, Umi. Umi gets rather overexcited at parties. She's also rather fond of ice cream. I'd like to introduce to you, Leonie. At a party, you'll find Leonie at the refreshment stand, eating. I'd like to introduce you to Jess. Jess has a habit of going into her own little world. I'd like to introduce you to Leah. Leah always comes to her party in her trainers. I'd like to introduce you to Sophia. Sophia's not always so great at starting conversations. And I'd like to introduce you to Kieran. Kieran always makes sure that everyone at the party has what they need. And finally, I'd like to introduce you to Zane. He's already been to 8 parties this week. Now, to get the fun going a bit and everybody in the mood, I'd just like to give out these. Excellent. And now that you know about us, how about we find out a little about you? What would you have at what food would you have at your ideal party? We have one.
He would have sushi.
He would have sushi. What track would you have wanted at your school disco? We have one! Satisfaction. Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones, I think. Excellent choice. Now, finally, if there was anyone you could ask to ask out at your school disco, who would it have been? We have one. George Clooney. Good choice there. And now, just before we go any further, I'd like to go through a few housekeeping rules of everyone. And now remember, these are meant to enable fun, not squash it. So, rule 1, hands up for the toilets. Rule 2, no more than 2 people at the bar at one time. Rule 3, hand-holding should be no longer than 3 minutes. We will be timing. And rule 4, please don't feed the band. They don't respond well to sugar. Now for rule 5 and 6, I'd like everybody to find a partner. Sarah and Kieran, can you help me with this? Rule 5, everyone should maintain an appropriate distance of no less than half a metre. Excellent. Rule 6, hand-holding should be above the hip but below the 3rd rib, like so. Excellent. Could I have a beat, please?
Abigail? Hi. Can you answer some questions? Okay, so when you were 13, what did you want to be?
An astronaut.
Is that your dream job?
No, I want to be a lawyer now.
Okay. So, healthy food or junk food?
A bit of both, to be honest.
Okay, now, how old were you when you went to your first gig by yourself?
13.
What gig was it?
What?
So, like, what's your favourite clothes store?
Probably Topshop.
Good choice. Anything pierced?
My ears.
When did you start wearing makeup and stuff?
Probably 14.
And, have you ever dyed your hair, maybe?
I dyed it pink.
Lovely. Shaving or waxing? Have you ever had a girlfriend or a boyfriend? When was your first girlfriend or boyfriend? When was your first kiss? Did you like it? Wait. But how long did it last? Did you enjoy it? Did you brush your teeth?
Okay. I'd like you to imagine it is 9:30 p.m. and the party is going nowhere fast. Like, I mean, boys on one end of the hall, girls on the other, and dance floor is completely empty. I mean, tumbleweed could go past. And the lights black out, and then a central spotlight appears, and then the first bar of Cameo song Candy comes on. And suddenly there's like a ginormous stampede to the dance floor. I said a ginormous stampede to the dance floor. It's more like it's enthusiasm. And in the midst of all this lights and chaos comes a perfectly walked road of people ready to put their electric cycles in the test. Best party of the year.
Long table, and on that table there's food like rice and peas, coffee dough, chicken, noodles, and the background the DJ played old type funky type music, and on the dance floor old couple waving their hands in the air because they just don't care, and on that hand they have white wine, vodka, all type of drinks, but as for me, I was the only person around my age. The rest of them was like 5 or 6 or older. The reason why, because there was nothing better to do.
It's 1 a.m. It's a house party and we've all gone to the garden. And my friend Jeffrey, who has a girlfriend, is chatting up another girl. So let's just call her Chloe. Them two, they're hitting it off and they finally get together. And it turns out Chloe has already got a boyfriend. So she's playing Jeffrey at the same time as playing Chloe. So every time we see Jeffrey now, we always say the player got played. Poor Jeffrey.
I would like you to imagine it's 11:57. The speakers aren't working, there's no food, all the drinks have gone, all the cabs are unavailable, I've lost all my friends. The party host parents came home and called the police, and my ex-boyfriend was flogging my best friend. Did that really happen? It really happened.
Poor Sophia. Leonie, put the food down. Put the food, just put the food.
I'm not really a party person, so you'd probably find me by the refreshment stand, or in a tall, refreshing glass of Coke. Or if they didn't have that, lemonade. Or if they didn't have that, Fanta. I'd have a Taran plate stacked with 10 different types of crisps. Salt and vinegar, cheese and onion, very salted, flavored, what's it, homemade, get cookie and dip, monster munch. And then on the second plate, I have some pizza, I have a pineapple, pepperoni, maybe vegetarian, some sausage rolls, chicken drumstick, maybe like some sandwiches, cheese, ham, that sort of thing. I've got more packaged of crisps, maybe some mini sheds as well, cookies.
Hi.
Hi.
These are nice.
Yeah.
Do you like them?
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah, me too, sometimes.
Pickled onion upon cocktails. Pickled onion upon cocktails.
Oh, yeah, me too. Sometimes.
Nice.
Nice. Can I get you Nice.
Nice.
Jess.
I'm not really a party person. But I do really love music. R&B, rock, pop, indie, metal, house.
I'd like you to imagine it's 1940s. I'd be the girl with white bobby tops on, skirt below the knee, waiting to hear Frank Sinatra. I'd like you to imagine it's the 1950s. I would be wearing a mini skirt and my leather jacket, waiting for the king, waiting for Elvis. I'd like you to imagine it's 1960s. I'd have my mini skirt on way above the knee, in a crowd of deafening screams, listening to John, Paul, George and Ringo. I'd like you to imagine it's the 1970s, and I'd have my catsuit on, ribbed hair, loads of glitter, strutting across the dance floor to the sounds of David Bowie. I'd like you to imagine it's the 1980s. I'd have my tie-dye t-shirt, double denims, listening to Madonna on my Walkman in the corner. I'd like you to imagine it's the 90s. I'd have my dad's extra large jumper on, blasting out Take That to the frustration of the neighbours. I'd like you to imagine it's the year 2000, and I'd be being fierce on the dance floor to Beyonce.
It's love. It's infatuation. It's completely consuming.
You wouldn't understand.
It's love. It's infatuation. It's completely consuming.
You wouldn't understand.
It's love. It's infatuation. It's completely
You
consuming.
wouldn't understand.
It's love. It's infatuation. It's completely consuming.
You wouldn't understand.
It's love. It's infatuation. It's completely
You
consuming.
wouldn't understand.
Love. It's infatuation. It's
You
completely
wouldn't
consuming.
understand.
Love. It's infatuation. It's completely
You
consuming.
wouldn't understand.
talking to your parents about sex.
It's really embarrassing talking to your parents about sex. The sex talk usually happens in classrooms, kitchen tables, cars, and most of all it's pretty embarrassing in the classroom. There's all about 30 children all trying to stop laughing and to not smile at the teacher's drawings on the board of naked people, the labelling and the body parts, and it's just all a bit weird. They all use words like condoms and contraception and it's just really, really embarrassing.
She enters the room. She glances around to see who's there. There's no one she knows. She panics, but then she sees a friend called Elisa in the corner. She walks towards her and spots him on the way across the dance floor.
He's been waiting for a while at the party. Nothing is happening. He can't wait to find his mates, so he pours himself another drink. Turning around, he sees her across the room. She's looking good, real good.
She's trying to have a conversation with Alicia, but all she's thinking is how she can cross the room without it looking too obvious. She downs her drink in one and tells Alicia she'll be back in a minute. She starts to move slowly across the dance floor.
He sees her move away from that girl she was always with and realizes she's heading towards the direction. He tries to relax, but he can't. He starts walking towards her across the dance floor.
She's getting closer to him now, and the music starts to change. The DJ puts on something really slow on. She doesn't know where to look. As she walks towards him, she looks down at her trainers.
He is almost at the center of the dance floor. He doesn't know where to look, so he looks down at his trainers.
She stands in front of him.
He stands in front of her.
She says, "Hi."
He says, "Hi."
A good host should always check on his guests before they leave. Leonie has had too much to eat and is feeling really, really sick. Abigail is making sure that everyone has a safe way to get home, while Saya is still cringing about her last biology lesson. And Jess is in her own little world, still thinking about unicorns. Kieran's making sure everything is tidied away nicely before leaving himself. Debbie is still arguing with the DJ about which track should be on. Sophia has at least talked to everyone. And Zane is trying to stop Jeffrey to having on with Chloe. Umi is trying to find a sofa to fall asleep on, while Leah is still dancing.
It was when I skirt. It was when I first went clubbing. It was when I first drove. Let's just say that car's no longer on the road. It's when I realised I'm the master of my own destiny, and to be me is to be free. And so, I must flee. It's when I realised that I'm one, and that there's nothing left for me to become but me.
The shoulder and the last guest leaves. The smell of body spray still clinging to the walls. The food squashed into the floor.